All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into a research paper that makes a claim so big it's kind of hard to wrap your head around. It suggests that a single homemade spray could be the key to tackling everything from a virus in cattle to our global extinction crisis, all tied together by one sweeping theory of everything.
So yeah, that's the big question, right? How on earth can one single spray possibly treat lumpy skin disease in cattle, the COVID-19 pandemic, and the Holocene extinction? The paper draws a direct line between all of them and says, yep, there's one solution. So what is this supposed miracle cure?
And the answer, well, it's this. Super simple. Just 3 ingredients. You've got witch hazel, distilled water, and some eucalyptus essential oil. But according to the author, this isn't just a recipe for an immunity spray. This is the seed. This is the physical starting point for a philosophical theory that tries to explain, well, basically everything. Okay, so how can these 3 simple ingredients possibly pack such a punch? The author's explanation begins by framing it as something called triple point therapy. And it turns out each ingredient was chosen for a very specific, very symbolic reason. The idea here is that this isn't just a random mix. It's a purposeful union of 3 major healing traditions. Witch hazel is there to represent homeopathy and allopathy. The essential oil stands in for the ancient Indian system of Ayurveda. And water? That's the universal medium, the base that's supposed to bring it all together. Now, we all know oil and water, they don't mix, right? But in this recipe, the witch hazel acts as a kind of bridge, an emulsifier, that lets them combine. The author gives this process a special name, a translational phase. And this is key. They're arguing that this simple physical mixing is actually a metaphor for a much deeper, more profound principle at work in the universe. And this is where we take our first really big leap. We're moving from a chemical mixture in a bottle to the realm of vibration and life itself. We're talking about a concept called cymatics, and get this, something called 5D DNA. So first, let's unpack cymatics. It's the study of how sound waves can create visible geometric patterns. You know, you've probably seen videos of sand forming these incredible shapes on a vibrating plate. Well, the author claims this isn't just some cool physics trick. They believe it's the fundamental principle behind how all medicine actually works. It's all about vibration. And based on that idea, the author makes a really bold claim. They argue that without understanding and using cymatics, our modern medicines are destined to be incomplete, that they'll ultimately fail, especially, they say, against what they call complex chimeric infections. Then, this vibration theory gets connected to biology in a pretty unique way. The paper proposes that different forms of life actually operate on different dimensional DNA streams. So, in this model, we, humans, have 4D DNA. Animals, they've got 5D DNA. And plants, fascinatingly, are said to have 11D DNA. Okay, so you might be wondering, sound waves, dimensional DNA, what's the common thread? If vibration is the key and DNA is the blueprint, where's the master code that connects it all? Well, according to this paper, the answer is language. We now arrive at what is really the foundation of this entire system. It all comes down to the author's interpretation of the EK Gurmukhi alphabet, which is the script used for writing the Punjabi language. This right here, this is the absolute core of the whole theory. The paper proposes that Gurmukhi isn't just a set of letters for writing things down. No, it's a phonetic toolkit. It's a system for generating what they call thermal energy inside your body. The claim is that just by making these specific sounds the right way, you can physically create heat and energy inside yourself. And this quote, wow, it really shows you what's at stake here. The author is literally claiming that if you can't pronounce just one specific row of consonants correctly, it's not just about, maybe getting indigestion. No, it could lead to the actual degeneration of your DNA and RNA. So let's just break that down. The fundamental argument is that there is a direct causal line between the sounds you make and your physical health, all the way down to the genetic level. The paper claims that mispronouncing these specific sounds creates a lack of thermal energy,
And this deficiency is then identified as the root cause of all these serious diseases.
And from this foundation, the theory just explodes in scale. We're moving way beyond personal health now to propose solutions for huge societal, economic, and even global problems.
The author even takes this phonetic theory and applies it to history and cultural identity. They point to the Sikh population in India, which makes up about 1.7% of the country, and argue that, in their view, a societal failure to understand these thermal energy principles of the Gurmukhi script has contributed to historical conflicts and what they describe as a modern Sikh identity crisis. Next up, economics. To solve what the author calls the brain dump, educated and qualified people who are unemployed, they propose a pretty radical new model for work. It would allow these people to contribute through part-time or even unpaid government and charity work, just to ensure that everyone's skills can be put to use. And here it is, the grand vision. This just lays out the sheer scope of it all. I mean, think about it. We started with a simple 3-ingredient spray. And from that one bottle, the theory has blossomed into this master plan to restructure our entire financial system, provide a job for everyone, unify all of science, resolve mass extinction, and combine every medical system on Earth into one. So, in the end, we're left with this one big question. Is this a genuine, unified theory for disease, physics, and spirituality, a true blueprint for reality? Or is it an incredibly elaborate house of cards, all balanced on a simple recipe for a room spray? The paper we've just explored today argues it's the former, leaving us to wonder if maybe, just maybe, the biggest answers are hiding in the most unexpected places.